Stugotz here for forhims.com. I've started to notice recently a little bald spot. Top of my head, did some research. Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35? Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? That's why you need to visit forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and other wellness supplements for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. They have well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Instead, prescription solutions backed by science. No waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's so easy. Just answer a few quick questions. The doctor will review your answers and give you a prescription, and products are shipped directly to your door. Order today, and our listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/Stugotz. That's forhims.com/Stugotz. forhims.com/Stugotz. Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short, anonymous survey. That's it. We swear, again, that's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz Podcast.
I am terribly torn here because Greg Cote of the Miami Herald is in with us as he is every Tuesday, and we are all very excited about in an hour. Greg Norman is going to join us, maybe nude. Greg Norman looks very good nude. We're going to celebrate him, his body, the body issue. I, all my life, have had body issues. We're going to celebrate this body issue. This is the one that's allowed to be celebrated. Greg Norman in the buff, swinging a club, and also he's got a golf stick in his hand. So I want to get to that, but we can't get to that yet because LeBron James, according to Stephen A. Smith, there's an outside chance that he can come to Miami. Outside chance. Pay attention to Miami, but I don't want to get to that just yet. There's a new Predator trailer out, I'm being told. I want to get to that immediately, but we begin, because this is rare, it never happens at 10 a.m. Eastern. Mike and Stugotz are getting all of their degenerate in. Entertainment purposes only. Yesterday at 4 o'clock, the World Cup was like the red zone. 4 o'clock yesterday, the World Cup was crazy. The last 15, the Nirvana, the heroine of the red zone, 3:45 to 4 o'clock when all the football teams are playing for giant stakes, except it's the red zone once every 4 years. That's what 4 o'clock yesterday was. Mike, explain that. Explain what happened at 4 o'clock yesterday, and then explain what you and Stugotz are doing here. You've got action everywhere. These are things I heard right before the microphones came on today. Stugotz said, how much do I have where? Mike said, Stugotz, the games don't start till 10. Entertainment purposes only.
Right. Oh, we are.
Yeah, but now they've started. Yes.
We are entertainment purpose fiends right now.
Hold on. Before you say anything, entertainment purposes only, Stugotz has also asked the questions. Right before the microphone, Greg Cote can swear to it. I said, Stugotz, not now. Stugotz asked Mike Ryan right before Disney pays him for spoken words about sports, the question, can we do in-game?
I don't know the rules to soccer betting, but are there in-game bets?
Entertainment purposes only.
If you want to put more entertainment at any point during the game, you just tell me, and I'll mark you down for more entertainment.
Okay, I'll be entertaining myself.
All right, so what's in play right now as the world?
Everything.
Okay, well, today's a real barn burner, Dan. Okay, yesterday was madness around 4 o'clock. You had so many scenarios flip past the 90th minute. In stoppage time, you had an equalizer from Spain, and then you had an equalizer from Iran that made Spain all of a sudden go ahead on top of that group, and Iran had 6 minutes to actually win the group, and they came within inches of winning the group and eliminating Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo. It was madness. Iran and Hervé Renard in Morocco, credit to you guys, because those teams were really good. Surprisingly good. I don't know if it was because Spain and Portugal were disappointing, but Iran and Morocco really impressed me. Anyway, on to today. Barn burners. We got Peru, Australia. Stakes attached.
Why is it called a barn burner? Why,
I'm on it.
Why do barns burn? Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Because of all the hay.
Stakes attached to this game in Peru, Australia. Remember, these games are all going simultaneously to keep the integrity of the result. And you have France, who's locked in at their position against Denmark. Denmark needs to not lose to advance out of this group. I think that one's going to be a real squeaker. Not a lot of goals in that one. Okay? Yeah.
That can be said about any game.
Any game played at any time in soccer history, not a lot of goals expected in that.
Which is why the red zone confuses me. I mean, really?
This is just 10 o'clock.
Inches. Portugal was inches from being eliminated. An entire country playing with the best soccer player in the world according to his own bust.
All right, good.
Yeah, and the emotion from the Iranian fans, it was crazy. And that's just the starter. I mean, the 2 o'clock slate, you have who's widely regarded as the best player in the game, Leo Messi, facing perhaps his biggest embarrassment. And I don't know if you've read all these reports of a mutiny going on the Argentinian squad where the manager is just sort of hanging around.
What?
And the players are picking the starting 11 and all the tactics today.
Are they in a worse situation than Spain, who fired their manager who had never lost? Oh, for the love of God.
Oh, man.
Oh, for the love of God.
Hundreds of years ago, when rats infested a barn, Dan, the farmers used to burn the barn down.
I'm fine.
Yes, Argentina is in a worse place than Spain. And Messi, by the way, kind of behind the scenes, he's quiet and not a lot of people know about his personality. Real diva, controlling who's on that national team. Icardi's not even on this national team. Lord knows they could use him because Messi doesn't like him.
Argentina has a worse managerial situation than Spain, who fired their manager who had never lost a World Cup, had never lost a game. I think it was 14-0-2. They fired him a couple of days before this thing started.
Right, so Argentina...
With cause.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he took the Real Madrid job, which is against their football association's rules. Anywho, Argentina's head coach, not a great managerial record at all. He looks like an even more bloated Phil Collins. And when he rips off his blazer, he reveals like one of those like Roxbury dress shirts with side piping. Very curious decision. I'm going to miss seeing him on the sideline actually doing something, because there are all sorts of rumors and innuendo that Messi's calling the shots now. He's the captain now.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Was, quote, even more bloated Phil Collins, end quote, over the line? I feel like Mike really crossed the line there. It was unnecessary to call him an even more bloated Phil Collins, thus taking him and Phil Collins out.
Every single game has stakes. Iceland can still make the World Cup. The smallest nation in the World Cup can still make it, and they're playing a Croatian team who's already atop the group, so they might start a completely different starting 11. So Iceland may go ahead. There's all sorts of things, and for entertainment purposes only, we have 3 guaranteed Stone Cold Lead Pipe winners. 2 score props. We are riding high, Stugotz.
Yes.
6 for our last 6. I had Isco after the show went off.
Entertainment purposes only.
We are riding high. These are documented. And today, boy, we got some good ones. We got Victor Moses from Nigeria. Yeah. There are 3-1 entertainment purposes on this one, people. Now, he's not your traditional goal scorer. He's not a striker. He's usually a serviceman.
Why would we bet him entertainment purposes only?
Because
he's 6 for 6, Mike is. That's why.
Because you listen. You listen to Daddy when Daddy speaks, okay? And, by the way, Victor Moses takes all the PKs for Nigeria. Little interesting tidbit right there. Also, we have
heady bet.
We have Paulo Guerrero.
You're basically betting on a PK is what you're doing.
I'm not betting anything other than my entertainment.
That's right.
Paulo Guerrero from Peru. Peru's been scoreless, and that's unjust because they've been playing really fun soccer. I think they finally break the seal, and I think Paulo Guerrero for Peru is the man to do it. And this one's my favorite one I've ever bet. Alfred.
Entertainment purposes only.
Yes, in terms of my entertainment. We are betting on something called Alfred Finnbogason.
Yeah.
From Iceland.
Finbo.
Iceland.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's
Alfred
go.
Finnbogason.
That's a win.
To score. What? So it rolls off the tongue. Finnbogason. Everybody.
Finnbogason.
Finnbogason.
Finnbogason. We need to shout that.
Finnbogason. 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 Finnbogason.
And what happens if Iceland wins? What do we need?
We need Iceland to win, too. Because
if Iceland wins, I win.
Yeah. We win so much entertainment. I'm telling you, I was dreading this World Cup happening during our show because I like to watch the games, and I have been rejuvenated because I've actually really enjoyed this.
Is there the possibility that during our show today, during whatever we're doing, whether it's Guillermo's failed Lewis Brinson campaign, whether it's looking at Predator trailers, whether it's waging war against baseball's commissioner again, because Guillermo has put together a string theory there on that baseball is being run in a way that is stealing our all-star votes. And that's Lewis Brinson campaign. Is there a way to get all of this off the ground today, Mike, in order to interrupt what we're doing if he scores and doing that chant and roaring like an English or an Icelandic pub, like a pub in Reykjavik where we're throwing beer on each other and everyone is kissing each other and we're screaming and Greg Cote's coughing.
I'm fine.
Here's I hate to be the party pooper, but Finbo doesn't get going until 2 o'clock.
Oh, no. Can we reschedule?
But here's what we're going to do.
We have Moses, though, right?
Well, Moses also is at 2 o'clock.
No.
Guerrero?
We have Paulo Guerrero.
All right.
And if Guerrero scores, we'll just do the Finbo. All right?
Okay, very good.
Cool.
All right, very good. That's the way we'll do it.
This is crazy because every time a human being steps on a blade of grass in Russia, I am winning or losing an entertainment purpose.
Well, and we're checking in with Roger Bennett at 11:30, one of the men in Blazers. We're checking in with him. He's going to be in Russia, and he's the funny one of the two. He's the one the last time he was on with us kept mentioning nipples.
Yes, he is regarded as the funny, cute one.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Jordy Nelson had a goose egg. Unbelievable. What are the odds? Money in the bank, that guy normally. Best Nelson since Ricky Nelson in the 60s.
Stugotz.
Hands up if you remember Ozzie and Harriet. Put them up.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Nude Greg Norman going to join us in 45 minutes. Perfect old man body, best old man body in the history of old man bodies. No, doesn't mind. He's a favorite of ours. Stugotz has very few people in the history of this show that he likes as much. Or what happened, Mike? What happened? There was a goal scored.
Oh, yeah.
There was a goal scored. Who was it?
Who was it?
It wasn't Paulo Guerrero because Paulo Guerrero wears a captain's armband. But Peru, remember we had entertainment purposes on Peru winning, have gone ahead 1-0.
Peru! Viva Peru!
1-0, by the way. Fine.
So Greg Norman's going to join us. And if you weren't with us in the local hour, and I don't know if you can still hear it, but it was something we heard pretty clearly in the local hour. It's been gone for about 30 minutes. But when it comes into our life, we experienced it for 4 years here in a way that was frenzied and crazy. And is that sound out there? You hear it? I haven't been able to hear it for the last half hour. You guys haven't heard it, right?
Like a rumbling almost.
A rumbling. The rumbling is that Stephen A. Smith said yesterday, LeBron to Miami. There's an outside possibility of LeBron to Miami. Right? And we already said this weekend, right? We said this weekend he's eating our seafood. He's at Garcia's. He's checking out high schools here. He's hanging out with his son. He's walking in Miami streets. And while he may do this also in Philadelphia and Boston and Houston and Los Angeles, he's doing it here now. And so Stephen A. Smith is rumbling. And Stephen A. Smith tends to be right about this stuff.
Yeah, he does. Tapped in.
Mike, he's connected. Like his LeBron information, I have never heard of LeBron James or his people having a dispute with Stephen A. Smith over something he's reported. Have you?
I mean, not really. He's never had a Kevin Durant moment with LeBron James.
Or his people, for that matter,
right.
though.
Stephen A. Smith is one of my foremost LeBron people I go to whenever we're under LeBron watch.
So he was saying Lakers, Cavaliers, and the Heat have an outside chance. That's what he was saying.
Well, are we under LeBron watch? Are we officially yet under? Oh, there's a meme. Look, when we're on LeBron watch, all of a sudden, look who comes in.
Yeah,
look who comes into the room. We need an update. Is there anything? No, we need an update from Amin El-Hassan. We need an update. You told us 25 minutes ago what needed to happen for Miami to get LeBron James. Has there been any update as we're in LeBron watch in the last 25 minutes?
The only update is this breakfast flan is phenomenal.
Oh, man.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Had you had flan before?
Yeah, every time I come here, I have my breakfast flan.
Do people around the country know what flan is? I don't think they do. Put it up on the poll at Le Batard Show, Guillermo. Do you know what flan is?
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's not a breakfast. That's for sure.
No, it's not. It is. Basically, you are eating ice cream cake for dessert. Nobody has. I mean, that is a dessert. That is not a breakfast.
But do you think flan is specific to down here? I mean, you're asking like people know what flan is.
No, I think that flan.
People don't know what flan is.
No, people don't know.
Really?
By the way, flan has eggs in it. You know what else has eggs in it? Breakfast.
Thank you. Okay, what happened to the LeBron update, though?
Nothing moving so far, but I'm efforting.
Okay, thank you. Leave now, please. All you did was eat breakfast on the air when we needed an update to carry our show so that we could play the Pitbull music, and all you did was eat. Thanks for nothing.
I can vouch for him. He was on the phone, so he's making calls, seeing what he could find out.
Working it.
Breakfast flan. I love that Stugotz always thinks that his experience is everybody's experience.
LaFlan James.
When I'm away from my wife, I also eat dessert for breakfast, so I can see what it means doing there.
All right, Guillermo, put it on the poll. Do you eat dessert for breakfast? There it is. 2 minutes. Get out of here. 2 minutes. If you're going to take the jokes wrong, 2 minutes. Get out of here. Get out of here. 2 minutes. Get out of here.
I get robbed. You just won
2 minutes. Get out of here. Coughing over here.
The Flan Leonard.
Yeah, it would have been funny if you delivered it correctly.
You were robbed from LaFlan.
It's amazing. I haven't gotten
James.
a laugh in a week.
That's unjust.
2 minutes.
Get out of here.
The Flan.
That's 2 minutes in the box.
Mike, what are we going to do about this? In the middle of that, you may have heard a muffled Greg Cote cough. Greg Cote has now had this cough for a bleeping month.
Right. I'm fine. On the 1 year anniversary, I'm going to throw a little party. Now he's got me thinking about flan.
Would you like to play the sound of the rumbling that started yesterday?
Yes, please.
LeBron's people would say you're wrong. Somebody mentioned that over the weekend. LeBron's people would say you're wrong. I'm not sure you are, but they would say you're wrong, just for the record, that he hasn't narrowed his choices. He hasn't made his decision. It's still wide open. I'm sort of the mindset that it's Cleveland or L.A. I've heard rumblings that Miami's got an outside chance of returning to Miami. I wish, Lord.
Me too, but what could they do?
Don't tease me like that. Please don't tease me. I don't even want to think about that, okay? But I will say this to you. And the other side, as an aside.
What just happened at the end there? Poor editing by Guillermo?
Here's the aside.
Yeah, yeah.
Que no paren la fiesta. Don't stop the party.
Outside chance, baby.
Yeah.
Rumbling.
Que no paren la fiesta. Don't stop the party.
That's wrong.
LeBron with the diet. Who cares?
Guillermo, what's going on with Louis Brinson and your feud with the commissioner?
Okay, first of all, I don't have a feud with the commissioner. I'm just investigating what's going on because there may or may not be missing votes. And if you go to allstargame.com, you can vote for Louis Brinson. However, it may or may not be counted because we found kind of like a clause in there that I'll read to you right now that says that it may not entirely count.
It's an incriminating clause, and we don't like the clause because the clause is basically the commissioner of baseball gets to decide whether votes are valid or not. It's a clause that's soaked in legal mumbo jumbo, but basically what's happening here is baseball allows people to vote 5 times a day, up to 35 times. So this whole voting process is a joke. It's the whole thing. The idea that someone can vote 35 times is just to inflate the numbers so that when they try to get Yasiel Puig in the All-Star game, he's got at least 100,000 votes.
Well, it's 35 times per email. So if you do use multiple emails,
it's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
It is. It's absurd.
And so Guillermo thinks that with the power of this radio show, we should be able to get him in easily because our listeners are doing this. But he also believes that baseball is nefariously in the shadows, sabotaging us.
Possibly. So here's the clause that we found. We were tipped off to yesterday. We didn't even find it. MLB Advanced Media LP operates and certifies secure voting systems and reserves the right to disallow votes and or disqualify voters if it has reasonable grounds to suspect that fraudulent votes have been cast, or if it determines in its sole discretion that there has been any deliberate attempt to inappropriately manipulate or unfairly influence the result of the vote or otherwise violate the MLB.com terms of
We
use.
have to get to the bottom of this.
It creates an atmosphere now where players are beginning to bribe the commissioner to get on the All-Star team.
Only ballots in compliance with voting rules will be validated. The office of the Commissioner of Major League Baseball will have final decision on all balloting matters.
All right, Carl Douglas, we need to get him on the
Autocrat.
phone. We got to bring our lawyer in. Let's talk to our lawyer. Let's gather ourselves. We go to war at some point in the next 2.5 hours unless we get distracted by a goal by Peru.
Paulo Guerrero had a shot on, man.
Did he?
So close.
Did he?
Dan Le Batard.
I get many complaints about why do you cut Cody off so much? Why don't you let him talk more? He has no governor whatsoever for what others find interesting. It's just for what he finds interesting. And what he finds interesting is himself.
Stugotz.
I'm interested in people, so maybe people are interested in me. That's my governor.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
A texter writes in, classic marching band to nowhere. Make an effort to get someone in the All-Star game. What happened, Stugotz?
It was almost a goal scored, but there wasn't.
Okay, I'm doing a show. I'm doing a show.
So you interrupted Dan
I'm doing a
with
show.
nothing
Okay,
happening.
I'm doing a show.
Listen, I just put my hand up.
I'm trying to work
towards-
here.
Okay.
I'm trying to work here.
I'm trying to
You're
win here.
pointing at an almost goal. We're doing a national radio show, 200 and some odd radio station, 2 million people a week, 8 million plus downloads. And you're sitting here in the middle of what we're doing, pointing at the screen at not even a goal.
Yep.
Can I do my job?
You can, yes. I'm just trying to get into soccer here, man. Do my job better. That's all.
So this guy writes in, classic marching band to nowhere. Make an effort to get someone in the All-Star game, then 6 weeks in, realize all the votes are void because they have all been influenced. This will haunt Brinson and Billy for eternity. Good call not to ever support this effort, Dan. So you realize 6 weeks in that all of these votes that are being sent out, all of these votes, that the commissioner's just deleting them. He's throwing them into the trash bin on his computer personally, laughing every time one comes in. Like every vote that comes in is like a Nigerian businessman who's writing you an email because someone's been kidnapped.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're scrambling right now to find some of those votes. Like they have someone taping them back together because Carl Douglas is going to be on the case soon, and they want to. There's going to have to be some votes. The total can't be zero.
Where are we with bringing our attorney into this mess? Where are we with that?
He has been texted.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll have him before the end of the show. Greg Norman, nude Greg Norman's going to be on with us at 11. Men in Blazers guy is going to be on with us from Russia. And then Ron McGill, Zoo Miami, is going to join us at noon. But many of you.
I love the idea of Carl Douglas passing on this, even though he took OJ's case.
That's right. He doesn't want it. This is a loser. Clearly a loser. Carl Douglas isn't going to return our text. He's going to ghost us.
Isn't that the guy who's saying kung fu fighting? Carl Douglas? I'm serious. I believe it is. And then he became a lawyer. That's a good story.
You're right. I want it, Greg.
Well, wait a minute. If indeed the singer for Kung Fu Fighting was Carl Douglas, it's not
I've
this
confirmed
Carl
it
Douglas.
was Carl Douglas. Yeah.
I low-key play it every time he joins us as a rejoin.
Mike, please get that now so we can play it now because it's a song.
If I burn it now, I can't play it for his introduction when he joins us.
I want to burn it now.
Might
because
sing it for us.
We only have one time we can play it. And I do believe we can all agree, right, that everyone on this show, is this a song that reaches across eternity? Is Kung Fu Fighting and its lyrics something that you will sing in your car every time you're driving? Go ahead and play it, and I want to sing it together. I want all of us harmonize. Amin, feel free to get in here. I feel like we all wait a minute, this reaches all the way over to your land? Kung Fu Fighting is something that reaches across the ocean.
Oh, land? You mean Phoenix?
Where, Arizona? I mean,
but it was Kung Fu Fighting. Those kicks were fast as lightning.
Yeah.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they fought with expert timing.
I love that, how we got the timing wrong. Funky Chinatown. You be careful.
What
with Funky
happened?
Chinatown.
What happened there?
They were funky Chinamen.
Careful, careful.
It says it, right?
That's all right. Chopping them up, and they were chopping them down.
Their part to a slip and kicking from the hip.
Everybody was Kung Fu Fighting. This is the only part we know. For fast as lightning.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
Cody's off.
But with expert timing.
We can't get our timing right.
Yeah.
All right.
Billy's jam. Yeah.
Can we play the whole song? Are we allowed, or are there limits on the right?
We'll just ask Carl Douglas to give us permission.
Yeah.
I'd like a mean acapella. How do we feel about that?
I like it.
Who should go acapella? How about Cody?
I don't think anyone should go
Yeah.
Kung Fu Fighting! Everybody now.
Those kicks were fast as lightning.
Come on.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
But they did it with expert timing.
Timing. Yeah, timing.
Watch that.
All right, so many of you are mad at me from the last segment because I sent Stugotz away, and he's the thing that you love most about here. But as you know, Stugotz and Greg Cote on Tuesdays are undefeated, never lost. So Stugotz says he's got some material for you on Buck Snowalter. He's mad about a Buck Snowalter promotion. He came in here snorting and raging, and he's like, this is the problem with baseball. And this is how we go to war with baseball, Guillermo. You know, they get 3 innings where no one makes contact. That's where the sport is right now.
Last night, Major League Baseball is trying to appeal to young people with a night they had at Camden Yards last night called Buck Snowalter. It's absurd. First off, kids don't care about Buck Showalter or Buck Snowalter. They were handing out snow globes. Now, I love a good snow globe.
Who doesn't?
I don't love a
Put it on
snow
the poll,
globe that has
Guillermo.
Buck Showalter
Guillermo,
inside
put it on
of
the poll, please. Who doesn't love it? You love a good snow globe. Put it on the poll.
And then what they had is like life-size snow globes where old people were just going in and it was snowing on them at the park because it was Buck Snowalter night.
And the Orioles are terrible. And you don't want snow with baseball.
And I just can't believe that baseball is trying to appeal to young people with their managers. With
that manager.
Yes.
With that. It's not even the young guys. It's not even the beefcake. It's not like Kapler. It's Buck Snowalter.
In June.
In June. We can make it snow in June. Come to our ballpark. Watch our team lose 13-1.
It was half Christmas yesterday, wasn't it? Maybe is that why they did it?
Is that it?
I don't know. I don't care. It's Mike, name me a kid, any kid who's under the age of 21 who knows or cares about Buck Showalter. Go ahead. I dare you. There's not one.
That's not true.
I'll wait all day.
That's not true.
Worst record in baseball, the O's.
Thank you.
I think Buck got ejected last night also.
Does he have lifetime security there for some reason? Like, the Orioles are godforsaken. And earlier this year, after his pitcher gave up a home run, Buck Showalter ran in front of the guy trotting around third base to go pull it. Went out there like all menacing, elbows moving real fast. I got to get him out of here. He just gave a home run before the trot is over. Showalter's on the mound. Can we just agree that Showalter's too old for this bleep? For all of it.
At least this team is not about to lose Manny Machado. They handed out snow globes at the park last night. The worst team in baseball here. This will solve it. Have a snow globe. June.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is Showalter too old for this bleep?
I ain't got time to bleed.
Buck Showalter's only 62?
Is it? Is that right?
Yeah, we discovered last week he's been 62 for 30 years.
That seems impossible.
He's 92.
He looks great for 60.
He does look great. What a handsome man.
Yeah, we also discovered that the key to aging is looking 62 when you're 33.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next, you're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie, this does look fun. You melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Batard.
How come John Hamm has never co-starred with Kevin Bacon? That'd be a good combo, wouldn't it?
Stugotz.
Was that a yoke?
Hey, oh.
Hey!
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
What
That's gotta hurt, man.
What happened?
I thought it was deserving. I really did.
Why?
Tough crowd over there.
I know it was breakfast and all that, but you can't crossbreed. We were strictly on swine.
That yoke was runny.
We were doing breakfast. He did ham and bacon.
We got the yoke.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Greg Norman going to join us in about 15 minutes on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Get in touch with the show anytime to the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed at Le Batard Show, at Stugotz790, at Greg Cote. Surprise a friend or loved one today with a bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com. When you order a dozen multicolored roses for just $29.99, you'll get another dozen absolutely free. It's a great deal. It's simple to order. Just go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN.
Both World Cup games just went to half. Stugotz and Mike Ryan were very excited about a yellow card right before the half. In one of the games, they were very excited that a referee went over and held up a yellow card in front of somebody. We'll get to that in a second. Amin is all fired up about the World Cup. Couldn't love it more. Greg Cote, I covered a World Cup with Greg Cote. We like to call him Buck Showhalter. Greg Cote and I in Los Angeles covered a World Cup.
Yeah, 94.
And Amin is all gassed up on soccer, so we'll get to him in a second. But, Mike, how long is that Terry Bradshaw penis sock story? We got to get to that because Greg Norman is going to join us here in 10 minutes. Greg Norman appears in ESPN, the magazine, nude. He looks amazing.
Wearing nothing but a hat.
Well, it appears he's wearing nothing but a hat, but you were wondering, and a lot of people were wondering around here, how do we ask him the question of, were you actually totally nude, or were you doing one of those Red Hot Chili Pepper things where you just wear, a gloss?
I'm fine.
What are we going to do about this Greg Cote coffee?
Go to the doctor, maybe?
I mean,
I've been to the doctor.
Go
Dr.
again.
McGillicuddy failed to help me.
Perhaps time for a new doctor.
Okay, it's perhaps time to stop smoking 2 cigars in your garage at once because you stick 2 cigars in your face.
Yeah, that's what my wife keeps saying.
So here's Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw talking about, what was the name of this movie?
Failure to Launch.
Just horrific, right? Failure to launch.
I saw that in the theaters.
Right. And
it did?
It failed to launch.
I'm sorry.
So wait a minute. In it, all we remember from it, correct, is it's Matthew McConaughey, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Terry Bradshaw's butt, correct?
I only remember one thing from it.
How was it bad?
All right, so Terry Bradshaw's butt, and Terry Bradshaw told us the amazing story. How long is this story before we get to Greg Norman?
Just under a minute.
Okay, it's one of the best stories told on our show, but then he came on the next time and he was telling stories about peeing from roofs. We need Terry Bradshaw more often, honestly. We need him on more often because every time he comes on, he tells a story like this.
I go back to my trailer to get my robe, and I look on my bed, and there's 3 penis socks. One is about 18 inches long, one is about 12 inches long, and one is about 4 inches long. And I'm looking and I'm going, you have got to be kidding me. I got to pick one of these and put on my penis. And I went, holy cow. Now, if I take the big one, everybody in the world knows that that's just no way that that's possible. I got horses that couldn't fill that thing out. So I said, if I take the little one, they're going to laugh at me because it's not very long. And I know the wardrobe people are going to gather around and go, which one did he go with? Obviously, I went with the middle one. And I put that stupid thing on. I got up there to do the scenes, and I had a penis sock on, and I've never been more uncomfortable in my life.
So how are we going to ask this question of Greg Norman? This is a whole delicate situation. Greg Norman will answer anything, right? Stugotz, you're in love with Greg Norman. We're all in love with Greg Norman.
How could you not be?
He's living life better than all of us.
Yeah,
private jets, yachts, golf courses, and nude all the time.
The shark.
We did ask Terry Bradshaw the oddest place he peed during the Super Bowl, and this was his answer.
Here's one.
All right.
Top of the house.
What?
Top of the house. Peed, but I was going to pee over the edge, but I ended up peeing in the gutter, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
Top of the house. That's the one I knew for sure.
That's a good one. How about the sink? Ever in the sink? Ever in the sink of the house?
Oh, of course. Of course I peed in the sink.
Do you even use a bathroom anymore?
Get this. In college, we had a sink, and the bathroom was right outside my door, and I'd get up, my roommate, he'd be asleep, and I'd just get up and pee in the sink. Wash it out good, though.
How many Super Bowls did Bradshaw win? Is it 5?
4.
That was the height of athleticism once upon a time. Look at it. That was Brett Favre before Brett Favre. That was gun-slinging urinator Terry Bradshaw. Just whipping it out and spreading it all over the globe. And handing the ball to Franco Harris time and again. Because passing wasn't something people did back then.
So what are you trying to figure out here? How we're going to broach this this topic with Greg Norman? Like how we're going to ask him?
How are we going to ask him the delicate situation? Like Cody wants to ask the question.
Yeah, I do.
Like, were you actually totally nude?
Right. I want to know. I'm curious. Is the penis sock a real thing? Is that just actors?
I think I think that's Bradshaw's very efficient description for what it was that we would all understand.
I feel like we should all have one.
How are we going to ask this question? I mean, okay, there he is, the show halter. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Buck Showalter. Buck Showalter. Oh, look, swigging vigorously from his cup because he's done his job so well.
Casually.
Do you have... Let's wait until he's done sipping from his
That
furnace.
that is a fine for Greg Cote anytime he gives us something we can do nothing with.
Okay, it's $1. That's a fine for Greg Cote. You owe us $1. Reach into your pocket. This is the historic first $1 fine for halting the show. Also, what he doesn't know about the fine system is that it requires a 10-second apology from everybody at every turn. So go ahead.
What am I apologizing for?
You're apologizing for show halting. Go ahead and give us, please, and be contrite.
You never know.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cote on ESPN Radio.
Stugotz here for forhims.com. I've started to notice recently a little bald spot. Top of my head, did some research. Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35? Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? That's why you need to visit forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and other wellness supplements for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. They have well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Instead, prescription solutions backed by science. No waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's so easy. Just answer a few quick questions. The doctor will review your answers and give you a prescription, and products are shipped directly to your door. Order today, and our listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/Stugotz. That's forhims.com/Stugotz. forhims.com/Stugotz. Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short anonymous survey. That's it. We swear again. That's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
Dan Le Batard.
Bleep yeah! Bleep yeah!
Stugotz.
Bleep no! Bleep no!
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We have fallen in love with this man and how he lives life. He's got a mantra. It is #attack life. He cage dives with sharks. He goes in sinkholes in the Yucatan. He scuba dives between and beneath Antarctic ice sheets. He wrangles cattle on his ranch. He hikes for 10 days in the mountains. He bungee jumps in New Zealand. He hangs with presidents. He dines with bin Laden's sniper. And he flies his own helicopter.
One of the questions on this sheet that we have is to ask Greg Norman if he was nervous about the body photo shoot. Nervous?
Greg,
he couldn't take his robe off quick enough.
That is correct. That is correct. We all agree on that. Greg Norman joins us now. You can see him in the body issue, and he's smoking, baby. He looks good, and he knows it.
Baby.
And so what is the answer to that question, Greg? And thank you for making time for us. The answer to that question is, were you nervous or could you not take that robe off fast enough?
Well, I'll answer the first part. I do all the things you say I love to do naked. So.
He did everything I just described. Cage diving with sharks, dining with bin Laden's sniper.
The great nude shark.
Yeah. As for being nervous, no. You know, if you're not comfortable in your own skin, then don't even think about doing that. You know, it was a great honor for me to be asked by ESPN to do the body issue. Never anticipated it. So at the end of the day, when they put the call in, or I got the message from my director of communication, Jay McNeil, I thought, why not? You know, I feel comfortable. I walk around my house naked all the time. Yes. I have no, inhibitions or anything like that. And so to me, that robe came off very, very easily.
So is that a universal truth with you? You have no inhibitions? Greg Norman has no inhibitions.
Well, I don't think I do. I feel very comfortable in my own skin, and at the end of the day, if, like I said, if you're not, then don't do it. And it was actually more of a fun shoot than I anticipated. The whole production crew was fantastic. The whole, the producer and the type of photographs they were trying to produce, and to see the other photographs that nobody's really seen yet that are sitting in somebody's room were just absolutely phenomenal as well. So it would have been a hard one for them to choose by.
And when you saw the magazine, and I don't know whether you bought dozens or didn't buy any because your life is like this all the time, but when you bought the magazine, who did you look at and say, yep, and they also look good? Like that person surprised me. They don't look as good as I do because I'm the great white shark and I'm great in every way, but that person also had it going on.
Well, I thought Jerry Rice had it going on because, when you get to a certain age, it's hard to maintain a body like these 22, 23, 25-year-olds that were in the body 10 issues. So when you look at somebody like Jerry and maybe myself, I'm a little bit older than Jerry, you go, holy shit, on the comparable basis, excuse me.
Hold on. We'll let the delay catch up. He gets very relaxed. As he said, he has no inhibitions. The great white shark, Greg Norman, with us. He curses occasionally. We will get caught up on time because we have a 7-second delay on this. Go ahead, Cody. Ask Greg Norman your question here before we could turn the pods back up because Greg Norman started cursing because he's very relaxed.
He was impressed with Jerry Rice.
I'm curious.
Hold on, but no, never mind. Continue where you were with Jerry Rice. Holy bleep, except say bleep instead of what you said, and then continue the story there, Greg.
Yeah, well, look, with Jerry Rice, holy bleep, at the end of the day, for him to be the way he is at his age, it takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of discipline. And so I respected him from being a phenomenal physical specimen on the football field to where he is today. And he actually admitted that, he feels fitter today than where he was on the, back playing for the NFL. And no different than I am. I feel like I'm fitter and stronger today than when I was number one player in the world.
When you were doing that photo shoot, Greg, was that your first time nude in front of a fairly large group of people, or was that something that you'd done plenty of times?
How often, Greg Norman, are you just wandering nude in front of many people?
Hey, I don't know.
How many orgies have you been involved in? What kind of question is that?
Orgies aren't illegal, to my knowledge. Just curious.
No,
he attacks life, this guy.
That was the first time ever, and I seek the advice of a couple of experts out there who know the modeling world and the photography world, and they just said, look, when you get in front of the camera, you just got to look down the lens and pretend there's nobody else around. But, ESPN production crew, they were fantastic about, screening things and hiding things off the best they could. But at the end of the day, there was a couple of interesting shots, like when I was making a full swing with the driver, bare ass naked. There's two swings happening in one, so that would have been an interesting sequence of the shot.
Perfect. Okay, so I guess that's the answer to our question. There's no sock involved. You're saying there's no sock.
About how to ask that question,
we were
Greg.
trying to figure out you were wearing a penis sock, right? But the answer is no.
Absolutely not. No. It was like I was bare as I came out of my mother's womb.
Were you offered anything, or
did you decline the offer?
Would say yes.
Would you like something? Did you say no, thank you? I won't be needing that 18-inch penis sock of yours.
And by the way, guys, what is a penis sock? I've never heard of that.
Well, Terry Bradshaw told us the story in Failure to Launch, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that he had to do a nude scene, and they gave him 3 choices on a penis sock because they didn't want him doing it in front of everybody the way that you were totally nude.
Oh, my gosh. No, I don't believe in that. If you're going to do something nude, you better be 100% nude.
That's right. There you go.
That's a great philosophy, baby.
It really is.
And, Greg, how will this work? Because I imagine you're going to get these pictures. You'll frame them and hang them in your house, right?
Yes, of course it will. Why not? I mean, at the end of the day, it's only, the whole world has seen them now, so it really doesn't matter whether I have them in my bathroom or in my office or wherever I have them. But, guys, quite honestly, when you look back on it, it was a unique experience. I'm glad I did it, quite honestly. And the response I've had the response I've had on a global basis has been overwhelmingly positive. So it was a good thing to do.
Greg, we find you fascinating. What happened, Mike? Hold on just a second, Greg.
Guess who scored for Peru?
Who scored for Peru?
Paulo Guerrero!
second. Let's do it. No, the other chant. Finland. Iceland.
Finn Bogensen.
Finn Bogensen. Finn Bogensen. Finn Bogensen. All right, let's not waste any more of Greg Norman's time. We just promised you that. Among the things that you've done, Greg Norman, because you're a Renaissance man, sinkholes in the Yucatan, cage diving with sharks. When's the last time that Greg Norman was legitimately scared doing one of these things and had trouble conquering the fear in a way that surprised him?
The most unique thing I'm trying to do right now is a mountain lion hunt where you actually climb the tree and you grab a mountain lion by a tail and see what the reaction is. That's the most fascinating thing. I've gotten close to it, but when you get urinated on by the lion because they're so nervous, it's actually you're really up close, personal with nature. So that's my next one where I can really conquer that one. Is going to be an interesting one. So. That's probably on my February, January list for 2019.
What else is in the Google Calendar? What
I would love to have access to your calendar.
What else is in there? Can we go over your calendar in the next segment? Like, I want to. What do you mean? Grab a lion by the tail? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, look, we out of my ranch in Colorado, we have a lot of mountain lions, and I really do enjoy. Chasing them through the mountains, and one of the art is put them up a tree, get them cornered in a tree, and then you actually climb the tree and see if you can actually grab them by the tail, grab a wild animal by the tail. So it's a challenge.
So much,
it's
man.
a challenge.
I love him. Hashtag attack life.
You do that nude, of course.
Of course, he does it nude.
No.
That's why the lion was nervous.
Are you nude right now, Greg?
Of course, I just have a pair of sneakers on walking around.
Nice. Oh, boy.
ESPN The Body Issue. We love this guy for a lot of reasons. Do you have many cheat days? Do you do very many eating cheat days?
Not really, no. I mean, sometimes I spoil myself a little bag of Cheetos or something like that, but no, I'm actually pretty disciplined.
Who is the golfer that you would most like to see in The Body Issue? The one guy throughout history. Is it the Walrus? Is it Daly? The one guy that would make you laugh in the is it Mickelson? It might be Mickelson.
I think.
In the Body Issue.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I think Rory McIlroy is probably a bit of a stud underneath. I tell you, I got it. It'll be a push up between DJ, Dustin Johnson, and Brooks Koepka. I think Brooks Koepka and DJ are probably the two most athletic-looking golfers I see today. So either one of those two.
High compliment.
But Mickelson is definitely the guy you would least want to see.
That's what I was. That's the way I was angling toward the Walrus and Daly and Mickelson. I thought that'd be funny. What are you doing in Palm Beach these days, Greg? Because you've always got projects on top of everything. Like while he's in a cage with sharks and in a sinkhole, he's making multi-million-dollar business deals. What are you doing in Palm Beach these days?
Well, in Palm Beach, I'm doing a project with my son. It's called the Shark Wake Park, and it's a cable system you pull kids around on or adults around on, and you do tricks on wakeboards or skis or kneeboards or stuff like that. And we're opening up a new park in Okehili, and my son has already opened one up in Myrtle Beach that's very, very successful. And quite honestly, what I love about this, guys, is it's such a active outdoor sport for the kids today. You can go there and you can actually spend all day there. And it's a very safe environment. So that one I'm very, very proud of what we're bringing to Palm Beach County or into southeastern Florida. We have a massive aqua park in there as well, the largest on the East Coast, from what I believe. So my son has done an excellent job with Shark Wake Park.
Greg, we love talking to you. Thank you for always making time for us. We always enjoy it.
Well, thank you, guys. Anytime, just give me a holler.
All right. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Alouette. Everybody chante the Alouette. Alouette chante plumerie.
Stugotz.
I grew up in a French family. My uncle used to sing Robert Goulet songs in the kitchen in French. And so that was some of the soundtrack of my childhood. I had an uncle, mon oncle, and Aunt Diddy. Those were the days, man. What else you want to know about Montreal, eh?
I want to know more about Aunt Diddy.
I think her name was Edith. I'm not sure why we called her Diddy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Edith.
Right.
Diddy.
Edith, Diddy, yeah. Diddy or didn't he? That was the joke growing up.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Show is moving fast. In 10 minutes, we go to Russia and get an authority on the World Cup soccer. Roger Bennett. I'm also told that Mike, he is a big fan of kung fu fighting. So not the song. So we'll find out what he knows as all the pieces tie together. But if you're just joining us, and we'll get to Carl Douglas and Billy's crusade against the Major League Baseball All-Star voting process in a second. But the place that we are right now is we were just talking to one of the most fascinating people in the history of sports. He attacks life. He makes you live like you're not living your life well enough. He makes you feel like that. You're not living your life big enough. And we interrupted that interview to celebrate a goal against his home country of Australia. His home country. We celebrated that goal because Mike and Stugotz won an entertainment purposes only bet, and we celebrated it by chanting the name of a player from Iceland.
And Norman didn't flinch. Just picked it back up afterwards.
Just kept rolling with it. So if you do not know what's happening here, Guillermo, do you want to explain? I want to see if Carl Douglas wants to take your cause. We always enjoyed Carl Douglas. He was the O.J. lawyer that stole that O.J. Oscar-winning movie from Ezra Edelman. All we remember is the lawyer. Carl Douglas with us on ESPN Radio. Do you want to sell your case to him to see if he wants to take the case or not?
Well, this is what happened, Carl. About a month ago, MLB All-Star voting opened up, and we were very excited about this. And we wanted to back someone, so we said, who should we back? So we picked Lewis Brinson of the Miami Marlins. He's a rookie. He was having a bit of a rough start to the season, I'll admit. But since then, he's picked up steam. He's caught fire. He is hot right now, baby. He's doing so great. Bryn Diesel, by the way, is his nickname. So what did we do? We'd send people to MLB.com, and we'd tell them to vote for Lewis Brinson because we wanted to see if we could get him voted into the All-Star game. Because essentially, the All-Star game is a popularity contest. And it's just to see how many votes you can get. So then we had more phases. We had celebrity endorsers like Chael Sonnen come in and tell us to vote for him. He mispronounced his name, but he was there.
Can you get to it, please, Guillermo?
So then we
extend
it out to
you out
Murray.
and then do it for you. Do you want to get
all the details?
Carl is sitting there. He's just sitting there waiting for you.
Well, I'm trying to give him the full, scope of what's going on here.
All right.
So then we called our friend Murray. Stugotz was doing some cold calls to get Murray to vote for him out in Charleston, South Carolina. And then we said, you know what? We need a little bit more exposure. So we expanded nationwide. And we had people take signs to games instructing people to vote for Lewis Brinson. And we were in like 9-10 cities.
We're a very big show, Carl. We're the biggest show in America.
I got it, guys.
Well, then on top of that, Carl, we invaded HQ, the app. We had people telling people to vote for Lewis Brinson.
I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him.
The lawyer needs all the details to decide whether he wants to take the case or not.
$2. Get out of here, Carl. What? Please, what details do you need? Good God! Why did I entrust you with that?
Dan, I'm billing by the hour. Don't stop him.
So, Carl, you could easily see how we'd have 9-10 million votes by now. But MLB releases a top 15. We're not even in there. And the lowest one is 300,000. It makes no sense to me.
Billy, you read me that clause that said they can disqualify votes, man. They have been exposed. They have stolen our votes in the name of integrity.
Right on.
We have to expose them.
Yes! Guillermo, how do we do this? How do we do this, Carl?
Next, Carl?
What's next? A retainer?
Well, listen, call your congressman. Call Bob Mueller.
We called
Let's
you.
get to the bottom of this.
No, Congressman.
No.
We just want to see if we have any legal recourse.
Yeah.
We think they're burying the votes. We think they might be. They may or may not be burying the votes.
Let's litigate.
Dan, for sure. They could say, man, anybody voting between 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 p.m., we're going to take out those votes because that may be a Dan Le Batard component.
That's when we're on the air.
I think it's outrageous, and I think we should take them down.
I've been voting then.
I don't know.
I've been voting then.
How do we do this? What do we need to do? How much does it cost? You're very expensive.
You can't afford me, Dan, but you gotta expose them. You gotta call Bob Mueller. We need somebody big.
All right. Thank you, Carl.
All right.
It's always good catching up with you. Thank you for making the time.
Next time, guys. Next time.
All right. We don't have the money for that, and we've got ESPN as a partnership with Major League Baseball, and we don't want to get in trouble with the commissioner again. So I don't know if we're going to follow this, but we've now got solid legal advice.
Mm-hmm. Call someone big.
That's right. Call someone you can afford also. Call someone bigger than me, your congressman. And call someone you can afford because it's not me.
Dan Le Batard.
You want me to get real?
Stugotz.
I'll get real.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, so we've told you about Men in Blazers Encyclopedia. Blazer Tanica is available now, and the Men in Blazers podcast available Apple Podcasts, Spotify. When you think about information about American soccer, or Americans being introduced to soccer, Mike, these are the guys, right? Like, it's not Alexi Lalas. Like, you like listening to Alexi Lalas on television. There are any number of soccer commentators. Hell, Amin was roaring with laughter. One soccer commentator. We got to get that sound and play it for the people. But this is the guy, right?
Absolutely. And it's funny that you mentioned Alexi Lalas because Roger, one half of Men in Blazers, is doing American Fiasco, which is a cool podcast on the 1998 Men's World Cup team from the U.S. And Alexi Lalas is heavily featured in that, and I think it's brilliant. These guys, and there's a really cool Real Sports piece that Andrea Kramer did on them. These guys are absolutely doing what MLS is doing and just really appealing to pub culture and more adult than the whole family-friendly thing from the early 90s in the MLS. And it's you become like a part of a secret society if you start following them. You get all the lingo, and it's truly a blast to be a fan of theirs.
And he is joining us from Russia now, where he has an impeccable phone line. And I am told, and I don't know if the sources are right on this, that you know the lyrics to Kung Fu Fighting and are obsessed with the song Kung Fu Fighting. That's my first question, odd though it may be.
Oh, it's a joy to be back. Thank you for your kind words about us and soccer. I do believe we're the only two men who are holding that game back from becoming really popular in America. But Kung Fu Fighting, that is, I mean, from the opening sweet cooing that seduces the listener's ear, the chugging guitar, the exotic string arrangements, that cheeky flute action, and the dazzling lyrical imagery. There's no wonder that Carl Douglas never wrote another hit. It was perfection. He dropped perfection. It was like John Kruk hitting 300 and then picking first base up and just retiring. Carl Douglas gave us perfection, retired immediately.
Wait a minute. So I didn't realize that I didn't realize this was going to become an ode to the song Kung Fu Fighting. What is your obsession with this song, and where does it rank in your pantheon of best songs most likely to be sung in the car in Russia by Roger Bennett?
Oh my God. I mean, when my coffin gets lowered into the ground, on that day, I want Kung Fu Fighting to be played. I just shortly after Do the Russians Love Their Children Too, which I'd like to be sung in a deep, mournful a cappella style. But in our book, we actually have a whole chapter about Kung Fu Fighting. It's the sign-off on our show. When we do our podcast, it's the last thing we say to each other. We just say Kung Fu Fight in America. And it is lovely to speak to America, because I'm here in Moscow, in the Bud Hotel, the city that gave us Alexander Ovechkin, Chekhov, and all those PP tapes. And I'm here phoning you in from Vladimir Putin's soccer-themed bar mitzvah. And it's pretty thrilling.
Well, can you give us like 20 seconds of observations, 30 seconds of observations, like on each team, or what you find interesting, things that have happened in the World Cup storylines that you find fascinating? For example, we all fell in love with the Moroccan coach. Is he indeed the most handsome man to ever grace the pitch?
Hervé Renard, he's the man that I wish that I was. He's got perfect eyebrows. He looks like he's ripped from the front cover of a Harlequin romance novel, if you've not seen this man. He opens his shirt, 5 buttons. I mean, it's like Tom Ford if he was a soccer manager. There's just a lot of chest wigs just bristling, popping out there. It's like he's got Pat Riley in his prime pomp potency. And he's just stunning. It would be an amazing romance novel, something like He Scored Too Soon. I know I would read that book. And his team are out, but they played such delicious football. This has been a World Cup of tiny teams just overachieving, playing ambitious, positive football. Normally, when last night Iran played Portugal, normally they would just batten down the hatches and have 10 men kind of across the goal line and just be not in the face. This World Cup, everybody fancies going for it because they know that the one true great team in world football, the United States of America, have not qualified, so they have nothing to fear. They played great in a rout. Peru played great in a rout. Morocco played great and a rout. And it's a wide open World Cup where everything is possible, including a thing I've never seen in my lifetime, guys, which is an England team that does not play with self-loathing, self-sabotage, and just general doom, but actually is young, average age bar mitzvah, and just wants to enjoy playing soccer. I've never seen that before in my lifetime. I don't know what to do with my hands when I watch them.
You mean specifically the English, though, right? There are plenty of people in soccer who play with joy. You're speaking specifically of English repression?
Yeah, English don't take away our repression, Dan. It's all we've got. Our English repression and self-loathing, even though I'm an American now and I have to get used to saying they and not we. But I've spent hours of my life watching England play international football, and they play with just a sense that we used to have an empire, now we're a tiny crag that's irrelevant geopolitically and in sporting and in all sporting endeavours. And we just want to place our neck on the block and have the guillotine quickly. Just make it not in the face, not in the face. This English team are too young to know how they should be playing, and they are playing. They on one hand, they've played terrible teams. I give you that.
You don't trust them, Roger. Your history, you don't trust them. You do. You're an American citizen now. You just became an American citizen. You know they're going to betray you. You know it. You know it. Admit it.
I do. English football fans are Charlie Brown charging at a gridiron football with Lucy Holding. However, this English soccer team, they're babies. They're babies. They don't know what they don't know, and they've played joyous, clinical, professional, collective football. I honestly, in all seriousness, have never seen human beings, men or women, in an England jersey play with what borders on such confidence, and it's been one of the shocks of the opening round that probably ranks up there with Lionel Messi, the GOAT. Lionel Messi,
the GOAT,
absolutely.
He's not the GOAT. Listen,
a dog of a tournament.
Yeah, I call him the choker. He's choking, right? Like, do it on the big stage, do it in the World Cup. Not that good.
It's a complicated question, but I can say. Seeing Lionel Messi, I loved Lionel Messi. He's the greatest footballer I've ever seen with my own eyes. To see him morph into Ralph Wiggum on the football field is the saddest thing, sporting or not.
I mean, that's too strong, though. That's too strong. You can't make him Wiggum. Like, that's too strong.
He's Wiggum. He's playing tonight. I'm in Russia. He is Ralph Wiggum. You can pause the games. And identify exactly the second when his heart breaks. That is pure Ralph bloody Wiggum, and it's truly dark. I made a podcast documentary series, which you were very kind to mention, called American Fiasco. It looks at the American 1998 campaign, when many of the players were so American, they thought, 94, we showed the world we can play soccer. 98, we're going to go and win it. That's what Americans do. And they went and humiliated themselves, lost every game, including to Iran. And it was like the Apocalypse Now meets Scarface. This is Argentinian fiasco, what we're witnessing. The team throwing their coach asunder. There's been a mutiny. Tonight they play Nigeria. They have to win, or else they will be bounced. And when you're in Moscow walking around, to be candid, one of the things I've noticed many things, including just how many average Russians think they're MMA fighters. There's a lot of topless working out on jungle gyms around Moscow. I am by some lengths the weakest human being currently within the city perimeters of Moscow. But the other thing you notice is Lionel Messi is bloody everywhere. His face is in every window, every shop window. It's on the side of buildings, every commercial on television. 3 out of 5 of them. There's a commercial they keep playing that is like, the Russian version of the 1877 Cars for Kids commercial. He's even in that. And you realize the pressure on this guy's shoulders is not just sporting, which is immense. It's also commercial. He must be exhausted to do the shot so many commercial campaigns, and it's easy to see why he's faltering.
All right, we're going to talk to you again tomorrow, and I want to check in with you every day this week, okay? We'll just call you every day. We're going to call you in Russia.
Again, great, man.
Men in Blazers, Encyclopedia Blazer Tanica is available now, and the Men in Blazers podcast is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It makes it clear. If you want to learn about soccer fast, this is the way to do it, and this is the guy to do it through. Encyclopedia Blazer Tanica is what he's selling. Are you going to join us again tomorrow?
Kung Fu Fight in America. I wouldn't miss it. I'm going to a World Cup game tomorrow, but I will call in right before it. I love you guys. I love what you do. I love the style with which you do it.
Kent, thank you.
Guys.
And we love your style. Can you just give us a cappella? Can you just sing, to close it out, a little bit of Kung Fu Fighting because you love it so much? Just a cappella.
Oh, God. I thought that's the only reason I agreed to come on the show, guys. The only reason.
You thought I'd never ask. You thought I'd never ask.
It has a line in it. Funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up. They were chopping them down. I don't think you can release Kung Fu Fight in
not today.
2000.
Okay, that's the one lyric I didn't want you to read.
Any other lyric?
Any other lyric's fine. That's the one you can't do.
Everybody was
Kung Fu fighting.
It's went fast as lightning. In fact, he hung up. He's not there anymore.
He just hung up. We were singing by ourselves.
Next, you're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie, this does look fun. You melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Batard.
I love me some doctors. Have a lot of respect for the medical profession.
Stugotz.
Except chiropractors.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Greg Cote of the Miami Herald in with us, as he is every Tuesday at 12:30. You will get a Back in My Day from Greg Cote of the Miami Herald. Ron Magill of Zoo Miami will join us in 10 minutes to take your animal questions. If you want to tailgate, the telephone number is 786-456-4837. I enjoyed singing Kung Fu Fighting with that guy, and I want to talk to him more. I want to talk about this Mr. Rogers documentary, which is very good. It's moving. It's going to be really hard for you not to cry during the Mr. Rogers documentary. I don't even know how it got me that way, but just such a simple, decent man. And the power he had over America.
Can't cry if you don't watch it.
Okay, so Stugotz is out on Mr. Rogers.
To do, man.
Well, you might like. How about Ronnie Coleman, the Mr. Olympia, 8-time Mr. Olympia? How about a documentary on him? Would you enjoy that? 8-time Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman.
How long is it?
About an hour and 30 minutes.
Nope.
Okay, very good. He's out on that as well. Ronnie Coleman, after 8 years of bodybuilding, is just a wreck. His body's a wreck. He can barely walk. Like he is in the chase for fitness. He sacrificed all of his physical well-being, not unlike football players do.
Right.
And when you ask him now, 1 to 10, where's your pain level? He's like 9 to 10 every minute, every day. I got to take these pills to help medicate. And when I have to make appearances, the number goes up to 12 or 13. When he has to stand up, when he has to move around, surgeries. Wow. Like this was the picture of alleged fitness for 8 times. But Stugotz isn't interested in that.
Well, you just told me the whole story, so thank you.
Okay, well, this is what Stugotz came in with today, though. He's got Aaron Judge is not real, and the Pacers are cute.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
Well, with the Pacers, they're adorable. I was talking to Billy and Chris about this. They really are. The Pacers know what the Pacers are. They do. They're very aware. They're very self-aware, the Pacers. Because there was a story last night where they cut. It's so cute. Because everyone's going after LeBron and Kawhi Leonard. There's a story last night that they cut. They did not opt in on Lance Stevenson. They had a team option there. They let Lance Stevenson go because they needed that money to hone in on their top 2 free agents. And their top 2 free agents are Tariq Evans and Will Barton. And that is just adorable. They're not concerned about Kawhi or LeBron. They're concerned about locking up Tariq Evans and Will Barton, who will help that team. You want to know why the Pacers are cool with that? Those guys will help the team, and the Pacers are perfectly fine being knocked out Eastern Conference semifinals in a game 6 or 7. And that's who they are. And they don't care. It's a good season, and it's cute and refreshing. That's it.
All right. Texture writes in, is Greg Cote getting paid for this performance today? He has not said a word in 2 hours. Help us out here. You're our basketball expert. That's all he's done is cough.
Right.
We can't even go to him. Mike,
I get paid by the cough.
We got to put him on. We got to sit him out. Like, he can't talk, and the only noise he's made for 2 hours is coughing.
Yeah, there's something wrong. But listen, here's the thing. Do you agree with me with the Pacers?
Well, I don't want to talk about that.
They're
right
adorable.
Now. I want to talk basketball with Amin El Hassan. I want to get Cody involved in the show.
Well, I wanted to talk World Cup with Cody because he was at the '94 World Cup. That was actually the year I came to America.
Nice.
And that was it was, to me, it was a huge deal. That was the first World Cup where you had stadiums, 80,000 seat stadiums hosting every game. And to experience it, it was like a dream come true to be there. But I'm really kind of was thrown off by the lack of people having excitement about the World Cup. Cody, was there excitement when you were covering the '94 World Cup domestically?
There wasn't nearly as much as I thought there would be. I remember being in Detroit at the Silverdome. They had matches, and there was no atmosphere. Like, you went to a bar right near the Silverdome, and there was no sense that the World Cup was going on right next door. It was weird. That was the World Cup where Colombia... the Colombia defender gave up an own goal and I believe was murdered.
Yeah, Escobar. Wasn't his last name Escobar?
Yeah.
Did you cover that story any more in depth? Than just the reports that came out
of killing a guy, own goal killing a guy situation.
Right. No, I don't believe I was at that match, but it was riveting to read about it.
Did you have to follow Team USA, or were you just doing the whole all the sites and all the sounds?
We were there. We were drinking the whole time throughout Los Angeles. Cody, we were drinking. We were drinking in dive bars.
We really were
in LA. Only in LA.
Well, we were at the final.
Orlando.
Yeah, Pasadena, Orlando, Detroit are the three I remember.
Right. And so Cody, how do you think the soccer can become a phenomenon here in the USA?
I think it's there already.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cote on ESPN.
Stugotz here for forhims.com. I've started to notice recently a little bald spot. Top of my head, did some research. Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35? Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? That's why you need to visit forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and other wellness supplements for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. They have well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Instead, prescription solutions backed by science. No waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's so easy. Just answer a few quick questions. The doctor will review your answers and give you a prescription, and products are shipped directly to your door. Order today, and our listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/Stugotz. That's forhims.com/Stugotz. forhims.com/Stugotz. Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short anonymous survey. That's it. We swear again. That's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
Dan Le Batard.
Some people might think that I love you are the three best words together. For me, that's not what the three best words together are.
Stugotz.
The three best words together are Stugotz just making a point and going, how's that sound? Or a derivative, how about that?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Here, you can eat some of this. How about that? How's that sound? I don't think there are three better words in the language.
I didn't think you guys noticed, man. It's incredible. I'm glad you like it. How about that?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Ron Magill joins us. We will ask him nothing but animal questions. We will get at some point to Greg Cote's Back in My Day, and also the raging brawl that broke out during the break with Stugotz blaming me for not getting Greg Cote on the Hardware Network out, me blaming Amin for being just awful doing nothing to help us there to get Greg Cote on the Hard Network out. Greg Cote gloating the entire time, even though he kind of got lucky. And Stugotz saying the entire time, you should have just followed the Pacers acute.
Yep. It all ended with me, with it being my fault. That's it. The entire conversation ended with everything being my fault.
You blamed me. I blamed
just a bad decision.
I blamed Amin. I went to Amin before. We'll get to it later. I want to get to
me. Don't lay blame.
Let's go to Reggie. You're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Reggie.
Hi, Ron. Do animals know what a road is and that it can be risky for them to cross, or does it ever take them a while to figure it out?
No, animals do learn that. There's no question about it. I mean, you can go in areas, for instance, you look at crows. I was just driving across the state, and crows are eating dead animals on the side of the road, and they know just where they can go where the cars don't hurt them. Once a car veers off, they immediately fly. Animals, they determine that very quickly. They also know that roads can be a source of heat, so they take a gamble. Reptiles, if you're trying to look for snakes or lizards at night, you go what they call road cruising, because they come out to the asphalt to get the heat that's generated from the sun that's gathered on the asphalt during the day. So they're taking a gamble, but they usually learn very quickly. But that's a reason why a lot of times you see snakes and lizards on the road first thing in the morning. They were hit at night when they were out there trying to get some heat.
Paul, you're on there with Ron Magill. We learn something every week talking animals with Ron Magill. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Ron. What animal are you most afraid to be bit by in the wild? Thank you.
Well, that's going to have to be something like a king cobra. I mean, that's a snake that pretty much, if it gives you a full bite, it's the only venomous snake that can kill a full-grown elephant. So that would be a snake that that would be an animal, because the venom alone would probably kill me. Whereas I could get bitten once by a tiger as long as it's not in the neck, by any other animal as long as it's not in the neck, and maybe survive if it's just one bite. Now, if it's getting attacked, then that's a whole plethora of things. But I think if you're talking about one bite, the bite of a king cobra.
Well, that leads us to this next question. Jeff, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Ron. Yeah, I've heard people ask you before, what's the worst way to die from an animal attack or something, but what do you think is the coolest way to die from an animal attack? All right, big hug.
It's a good question.
The best way. The coolest way. How do you mean, Jeff? Coolest how?
Just, what people would remember you by.
Okay, so
that was a cool way to go.
Right. When the wife tells the story, the kids tell the story, everyone's very impressed.
I mean, but I didn't. I thought, right. What's the best way for an animal to kill you? The least painful way is what I thought the question was.
Yeah, I think, if you're going to talk about the coolest way to die, it would be I don't know, you're on safari and you see a lion stalking some kids, and you go in there and you try to save this kid's life, which you end up doing, but then you die doing so.
Right.
You've been killed by a lion, save kids, it's honorable.
The way Greg Norman's going to die, because he grabs lions by the tail.
Right, well, nude.
Bruce, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Bruce.
Hi, Ron, first time, long time. My wife kidnapped a red-eyed slider. I'm from Kansas while we were at a lake, and I've been totally against her keeping it. We kept it in this prison cell at our house, and it's fairly big now. I fed it nothing but worms, and I want to release it back to where we got it. Is any harm coming to him?
You have a prison cell in your house?
No, a red-eye slider. They put him in a cage.
Red-eye slider is a turtle.
What's the matter with you?
They put it in. Yeah. No. No, I think you can probably release the animal as long as you're releasing it in the same place that you got it from. The thing is, people get these pets, they move, and then they go to a place where the animal is no longer native, and they release it thinking, well, it's a turtle, it can live in any pond. You don't want to do that. The problem is sometimes with these animals, though, they have not built up the resistance that they need to live in the wild, not just in not being able to find their own food, even though I think a turtle is going to learn how to do that, but the turtle may not have the natural defenses against whatever pollutants or any viruses or bacteria that are in that water, because it was pulled from there, kept in a fairly sterile environment, and that might be a problem when you reintroduce it. But the bottom line is, listen, guys, you should never take these animals out of the wild and keep them as pets. That's a lesson right there.
Ron, the scientist who has consulted on every Jurassic Park movie says paleontologists and geneticists are within 5 years of being able to bring dinosaurs back. Thoughts?
You know what? My moral code says don't do it. My curiosity, my fascination says, man, that would be the coolest thing in the world to see what one of these things look like alive, what kind of sound it makes, what kind of colors it has. This is all speculation, because we can only tell about size and shape from the bones, but we don't know colors.
But Ron, it's a bad idea. Did you not learn anything from these four movies? It seems to be a clearly bad idea, no matter how fascinated you are.
Dan, Dan, I said morally, I understand it would be the wrong thing to do, but there's still a huge fascination with that, okay? And don't believe everything you see in movies, Dan.
It's the wrong thing to do because they're going to eat us all. Like, what?
They're not going to eat, Dan. They're not going to eat it.
You haven't seen the movie.
It's a good way to die, though.
It is a cool way to die.
Right.
It is a cool way to die. It would be quick, but it'd be cool. Daddy got eaten by a dinosaur.
This show sometimes gets so shallow.
Robert, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, Ron. I wanted to ask if Mike Tyson in his prime, do you think he could knock out a gorilla with like a one-foot crow hop?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Never in his wildest dreams.
His
You could tie
prime,
the
Ron.
gorilla's head behind tie his hands behind his back, put him on a platform so he's sticking his head out on a plank where he's got a clean shot with his best blow. Absolutely not.
No chance. So nothing. Like he catches if Mike.
Oh
Tyson,
no! He dizzy him. There's no question. He dizzy.
But you're saying it can't be like Mike Tyson catches clean with an uppercut a gorilla. We're not talking about could he win a gorilla boxing match. We're not saying that because that's impossible.
I understand.
He
I
catches
understand
him
what you're saying.
clean. He catches the gorilla clean with an uppercut. The gorilla's not going down.
A full-grown silverback gorilla. No, he's not going to go down. He's going to be dizzied. He's going to be shaken. And then he's going to be really pissed.
Yeah, that is what's going to happen next. I mean, what do you got for Ron?
Ron, I was watching a nature documentary where they talked about why domesticated animals play, and it's because they're trying to satisfy the need to hunt, even though they don't have to hunt for food anymore. I was wondering whether actual predators at the zoo, do you guys do anything for them to stay mentally stimulated?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a whole enrichment department here. There's actually a person who's in charge of the enrichment, a department under her, where they come up with all different kinds of, the lack of a better word, toys, things that they do where animals have to hunt and search and scavenge for things. We put things like we make these bloodsickles for the lions and tigers during the summer where we put a piece of raw meat in a frozen icicle and we put it out there and they wrestle the ice and they try to chew through the ice and scratch through the ice and put it in the water and paddle around so they can get to the meat. These are all things that are kind of stimulating their hunting instinct and to keep them active.
All right, let's do this video. We do it at the end of every week here on ESPN Ooze. If you're following us on television, Ron Magill breaks down play-by-play of an animal video that is often horrific and is usually scary. So go ahead, Ron. We're ready for you.
Okay, open it. Play. Okay, there's a hand here, a bunch of ants in slow motion. It looks like a... Oh, they spit! They're spitting acid. I've seen this before. Whoa. These are these ants. They spit. Yeah, they spit a type of acid. It's not something that actually can burn through your hand, but it stinks. It smells real bad. It's the same premise of when a skunk sprays on you. Oh my God, they're doing this! Like it's so cool in slow motion. They're spraying this formic acid on the hand.
Acid spewing ants.
And you know what? That's a great defense mechanism. So what they're doing is they're protecting the ant colony. So if they see a predator come down, they spray this stuff, which is so offensive. It's like a snake, a skunk smell, and the predator goes away. It's ingenious. It's fantastic. Nature is so wonderful.
It looks like the Bellagio.
It so does. It's like the
that was good. You know what? That's funny. That's funny, Stugotz. That was really good.
The acid fountains of the Bellagio. Thank you.
The Bellagio. That's perfect. Perfect analogy. Have a great week, guys.
See you later. Oh, look at the coughing Cody again.
Man, he's struggling.
More money, more problems.
Can we get him a cough button?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, very good. It's the middle of baseball season. Billy, call Marco Rubio. It's the middle of baseball season. Enjoy all the games with great... Call him... No, I want to do that on air.
Yeah.
Call Marco Rubio. Let's...
Marco!
I want to see if we go to war with the baseball all-star voting process by contacting our congressman. Let's go. Call Marco Rubio's office. Find out what happens there.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
What do you prefer, flat wings or drumsticks? Because I like drumsticks.
I like drumsticks too, yeah.
Flat rules.
Stugotz.
If people do just drums, though, you'd think there's a bunch of extra flat wings just laying around, right?
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think more people do all flats, though.
No,
Really?
no, I think more
so.
people do drumettes. I'm telling you, more
Wait a
people do
minute.
the drumettes.
I like drumettes so much more.
no.
In fact, I'd prefer to do all drums.
Flatten it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Greg Cote of the Miami Herald is in with us. His Back in My Day is in 15 minutes. We'll see if he could get through it without coughing or wheezing or otherwise show halting, because he is Buck Showhalter.
I'm fine.
He's been a nightmare today. Yes, look at him laughing.
I feel bad because the cough has recurred. I apologize for that.
It hasn't been a nightmare. He just hasn't spoken.
Okay, he hasn't spoken in 2 hours. He's afraid to speak. He's just sitting here coughing. It's it's awful. He's laughing. Look at him. Here he goes again. He can't laugh because he's stuck.
Oh, man.
Don't make me laugh.
Your
I'm
fault.
fine. Here we go. I'm fine. I am fine. That sound. How did that sound ever come out of me? I couldn't recreate that sound if I wanted to. Live or as a memory? I'm fine. I'm fine.
Must I? I'd like to continue for the next 40 minutes. I'd like to have them battle. Now the contagious cough.
I'm fine.
Now here we go. Here we go.
That's louder than any of my coughs.
This is where I wanted to get. I wanted
Amateur
to get
cougher.
to the contagious point. Predator trailer.
I can't stop watching it. Cody, I meant.
The Predator trailer. Mike, what's going on with this Predator promotion? When's the director coming on with us? The director of Predator, during a 4-year period, made 3 movies: Hunt for Red October, Die Hard, and Predator. Monster. Monster after monster. Changed the action genre. Die Hard, you can make an argument, best action movie ever. You can argue if you want, but it's in the discussion.
The trailer is absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, I've watched it 5 times today, and you always know you have a good trailer and a good movie on your hands when at the beginning of the trailer, okay, there's just very nice music. The kids, they're walking around the neighborhood and they're trick-or-treating, and you know what that means. That is the stuff that happens right before everyone gets killed.
Yeah, I'll give you. I have a little bit of the audio. Like, I don't think the trailer works really well for radio, but the part that he just described sounds a little like this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, something horrible's coming.
Yep.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, what are those? Wait a minute. Are those birds?
I don't know.
Gulls? See, killer bird.
Understand that this music is underneath. There are kids walking around the neighborhood and they're trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
It's Halloween.
Ominous.
And then things are about, I mean, this is the music and the scene right before everyone gets killed.
Yeah, here's where it comes. Right here.
Yes.
Phone's ringing.
What is that? What the hell was that?
That's a Predator laser.
Yes, kids opening up a box. And
No!
Sounded like a phone ringing.
What was that? What was that? Is there a tiger of some sort in there? A Carolina Panther? Yeah!
It's a kid playing with it and then a real thing coming in.
Did you see anything unusual? Like an alien, you mean?
You saw something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And your men? Someone or something tore them to pieces.
What was that at the end?
On every planet they visit.
We need to know if you pose a threat.
We're assassins. Isn't posing a threat kind of the point?
Thank you, white guy from Narcos.
20th century Fox. Bringing the thunder. Woo!
Wow.
Looks
Woo!
good.
Take my money.
Sounds good. Right.
That Predator sound. So the director made those 3 movies and then vanished for 14 years. There's that sound again.
No, that was a laugh, actually. It just sounded like, this is a laugh. And this is the other thing. Dumb fight.
I take it back. You have been awful.
What are we going to do with the Predator movie? What are we getting? And first of all,
the director is slated to join us at the end of the week, Thursday. It's looking like Friday now? Friday now.
Okay.
Wow.
This is very exciting. We're going to build up to it. What happened to getting Keegan-Michael Key on every week until the movie?
That was never happening.
Yeah. He's one of those things he said, and then
he's a big Hollywood star. He never wants to talk to us again?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. That's where we stand with this. Guillermo, did you call Marco Rubio?
No, not yet.
Well, what are you waiting for?
We're doing a show.
No, but as part of the show, we should call Marco Rubio and find out if he's willing, as a congressional leader, to take the advice of Carl Douglas and make a big stink about the Major League Baseball All-Star voting process.
Marco!
What? You never played that game as a kid? Matter with you?
All right, please leave the show. Please leave. Go sit in the penalty box.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fish out of water.
Don Le Batard.
Have you guys heard this story? Bas Rutten fighting a dog?
Well, I've never heard of Bas Rutten, so.
Bas Rutten's been on the show, Stugotz. The idea that you've never heard of him, he's been on the show several times.
Stugotz.
Is that B-O-Z?
It's B-A-S.
Yes.
B-A-S. All right. I was, because there's Boz Skaggs.
Boy, you guys are dragging this thing right into the quicksand.
Well, why are you pronouncing it Boz, though?
Right.
Probably like Baz or something.
Exactly.
Bass.
B-A-S, right?
Bass Rutten.
Boz would connote a Z, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a Scandinavian name.
Yeah, like Boz, like Bosworth.
Boss Rutten.
B-O-Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Something about a dog?
What's the dog's name?
Speedy.
Speedy Rutten.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So Bruce Bowen was talking about Kawhi Leonard, and he was doing so on Sirius XM NBA Radio. We will get to Greg Cote's Back in My Day in a moment. But here is Bruce Bowen talking about... Now, is Bruce Bowen... Help me out here, okay? Because I like Bruce Bowen. I covered him in Miami. He is a delightful human being. Bruce Bowen, is he, and I'm asking this question because I don't know the answer to this, is Bruce Bowen, like Teddy Bruschi, someone who is always summoned to defend all Spurs things? Will Bruce Bowen ever criticize the Spurs, or is he like Bruschi with the Patriots, where he just comes out and every single time he will defend what the Patriots are doing?
Baghdad Bruce?
Baghdad Brewski and Baghdad Bruce. Is what I'm saying true, though? I don't know. I don't know what he has to say about Kawhi Leonard, but I can imagine it. And I imagine Bruce Bowen going company man on the side of the Spurs. I don't know what he says.
I think he sides with all things San Antonio Spurs and all things defense.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Yep.
So let's check in here with Bruce Bowen. And again, a pillar of integrity, also one of the dirtiest players ever. Bruce Bowen, this is his words for the San Antonio Spurs. Can you be both of those things? Can you be both of those things? Can you be Bruce Bowen?
It's a real Rubicon.
A pillar of integrity and the opposite. Can you be both of those things? Yes? A dirty player and a pillar of integrity. Okay. Amin gives us a thumbs up. You can be both of those things.
Okay.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Bruce Bowen both a pillar of integrity and a dirty player? Here's Bruce Bowen, Baghdad Bruce, on the Kawhi situation.
I think there's nothing but excuses going on. So first it was, I was misdiagnosed. Look here. You got $18 million this year, and you think that they're trying to rush you? You didn't play, for the most part, a full season this year. And you're the go-to guy. You're the franchise, and you want to say that they didn't have your best interest at heart? Are you kidding me? Not one time has Kawhi come out and said anything to the effect of, you know what, hey, I really enjoy being in San Antonio, or I can't stand what's going on here in San Antonio. Not one time has he said anything.
Ever. He's never said anything.
Yeah, none of us have ever seen him smile. We have not. Have you ever heard Kawhi Leonard speak a word? None of us have. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. Have you ever heard Kawhi Leonard speak a word?
He's a mime.
I mean, is he the closest thing to a mime we've ever had in modern American sports? You're not allowed to be a star like it's a menu item. You get to pick the way your stardom is, unless you do it this way. Yeah, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm going to just sit out a season and not tell anybody.
A mime is a terrible thing to waste.
Time now for back in my day.
And now, it is time to take a trip down memory lane. Here's your guy, Greg Cote, with Back in My Day.
License plates! People as they age tend to become more closed in and judgmental. And so I try very hard not to be judgmental. It isn't always easy. Sometimes it requires a heroic effort, usually born of other people's tendency to violate one of my sacredly held pet peeves. For example, aisles in supermarkets are much like miniature indoor roads with space for two carts to easily pass each other. But this logic of design is ruined when you obliviously leave your cart on a haphazard diagonal right in the middle of the aisle as you saunter 20 feet away to casually inspect labels. I wish shopping carts came equipped not only with horns, but with jarringly loud air horns. But the pet peeve that is rapidly ascending my lifetime chart involves the license plate registration decals that the state of Florida, and I guess most states, provide each year. You know, the little yellow rectangles you peel off the back and stick the new one for 2018 right over the old one from 2017, right? Back in my day, that would have been considered common sense. But lacking that, the decals actually do come with directions. There is also the visual clue that the vast majority of cars in front of you are showing only the one decal, but not you. No, your car has a decal on all four corners, a few others next to those, and also one right in the middle of the plate. I pull up behind you at a light and can barely see your plate number for all the decal. I find myself shaking my head with incredulity, hoping you'll glance in your rearview mirror, detect my annoyance, and put two and two together. Folks, I'm not smarter than anybody else, but you don't have to be a member of Mensa to sort of figure out that the new decal goes over the old one. The cop giving you a ticket doesn't much care that your Tercel was properly registered in 2011. The logic of continuing to fly expired decals makes about as much sense as keeping all of your old wall calendars, and there are now 38 of them papering your entire kitchen. Get your decal act together, people. Clean your plate! I'm Greg Cote, and that's how it was back in my day.
Rare. Back in my day for an audience of one.
A standing ovation from Amin there.
Wow.
Yeah. You okay?
I'm great, yeah. Good.
What's happening here?
Nothing. It's all good.
Were you trying to stifle a cough that entire time, and so it became hard to do that?
There was a little tickle that was sort of distracting me.
Right.
But I fought through it.
All right. Well, we were lecturing Cody during the break, just screaming at him.
Yeah.
He's got to go get that checked.
That's another distraction. Now you have me convinced I have like a terrible terminal illness.
We didn't say that. We
need-
care about you, and we want you to get looked at.
You need to get it checked.
Yeah, sure. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
You think we're hoping for the worst?
At Levitard Show on the polls, if you want to vote on the polls, at Levitard Show. But before we do that, I want to check in with an update on Guillermo. Guillermo, I got to get an update. Oh, for the love of God. Your call to...
Oh, no.
Well, he keeps doing that, and it makes me do that.
How's your call to Marco Rubio going?
I Googled it, and then I said, Allison, can you get Marco Rubio for us?
Okay, we're going to try and get Marco Rubio. And what are you going to say to him? Are you going to yammer like you did with...
Oh, I'm doing this? I'm talking to Marco Rubio? I'll just say, hey, what's up, Marco? You know, as you know, I'm sure you've heard pressing issues going on in this country right now. Lewis Brinson's not in top 15, the All-Star game.
Right.
We need your help.
Okay, let's enlist a congressman. That's fine.
Oh, God.
Stugotz says Aaron Judge is not real.
Dan, I'm not certain the man is real. It feels like he can malfunction at any time. This skin is so tight on his body. I mean, it's just amazing. He looks like a cyborg or something like that. I'm not certain he's real.
A giant hitter of baseball cyborg.
Listen, Stanton standing next to Aaron Judge looks
I'm with
small.
You. No, he looks like he belongs on a keychain of Aaron Judge. It's weird.
It's really...
Stanton fills out a uniform like few people in the history of the sport, and he looks like something hanging from Aaron Judge's keychain.
Yes. It's amazing because I was watching highlights last night, and the man does not look like a human being.
Mm-hmm.
He does not.
You know what? I think I'm with Stugotz on this, and we should also call Marco Rubio about this because I believe now baseball is just using players who aren't actual real human beings. His skin is too tight. And he's too much of a robot, and it's clear to all involved that baseball is trying to save itself instead of with PEDs with a robot playing in a Yankee uniform. That skin is too tight.
Judge
Everything
has
is too
the skin
tight.
of a man 5 inches shorter. The skin is stretched. It's almost translucent, his skin. You can see his organs because he was born with too little skin. That's a very good observation.
Thank you.
More money, more problems.
How is he the same age as Mike Trout?
It doesn't make sense. None of it. He's going to short circuit.
Is that what's going to happen? Like Sammy Sosa one time, he hit a ball with his bat and corked balls flew all over the place. Is there the possibility that Aaron Judge just starts sparking? Like we're sitting there watching a game, he's in the batter's box, and you see sparks.
Yes.
Sparks in his face. Where would the sparks be?
And terrible sounds.
No, that's the guy who plays third base for the Rangers.
Joey Gallo?
Yeah, that's Joey Gallo with the bad sound.
I'm a one-trick pony, literally. I show up at kids' parties and act cute. That's pretty much it. So excuse me for being bitter. When Geico says not only could we save you money on car insurance, but we do more. Like give you 24/7 access online, over the phone, or even via our award-winning mobile app. Well, ooh la la. Aren't they multi-talented? Hey, I said organic carrots.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Don Batard.
Greg, are you going to say anything? Or are you just going to sit there checking the internet?
When I have something to say, I say it. What I was thinking of as you said that was that I think Black History Month is also split into 2 half months, which is terrible.
That's not true.
It's the first half and the second half of February.
There you go.
Right.
Stugotz.
No, it's February into March, isn't it?
It's February.
No, it's
Hang on.
Good contribution, though, when you decided to talk. That was good.
Black History
Chris,
Month.
Yeah, Greg.
I'm like a dog with a bone on this. I'm wrong. Okay.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, we're going to update the polls in a second at Le Batard Show, but Mike Ryan's on a heater, man. Entertainment purposes only. All his morning bets have come in. What were they? Entertainment purposes only. He's on a heater, and when your friend's on a heater, everyone gathers around your friend and makes your friend be a closer friend than he was before he was on the heater.
He has made the World Cup so enjoyable for me because I'm getting into it because he keeps giving me winners every single morning.
Everything right. Everything right.
Yeah.
He is.
How entertained are you?
It's so. Listen, I'm entertained by winning money.
Entertainment purposes only.
Oh, sorry. By winning entertainment purposes, I am entertained by that.
He forgot. He just forgot.
Well, Delaware, New Jersey. But anyway, Mike has made this a thoroughly enjoyable experience for me, and we have some more action this afternoon. I can't wait. Mike is 7 for his last 7.
7 for my last 7 on the to score prop, which has been a real fun one to watch.
Crazy.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
How is that
right now.
possible?
I asked him this morning.
How is it possible that you're 7 for 7 entertainment purposes only?
Picking soccer players to score.
Soccer to score. It seems like a stupid bet. All 7 of them seem stupid.
Right. Well, it gets.
You should bet on. Shouldn't you be betting on soccer players to not score?
Right. Right now
he's doing just fine right now.
Later today is my heat check because I'm betting on Finn Bogensen and Victor Moses. I don't even know how we're going to get that goal. It's going to be a cross that accidentally goes in, but we're going to win that one.
Yes.
We're going to be so entertained. Finn Bogensen.
Finn Bogensen. This is at 2:00 Eastern. Finn Bogensen. If he scores, Mike Ryan is going to be 8 for 8. In entertainment purposes only, you double up your bets.
All right. So we have Iceland not to lose.
Nice.
Actually, we took Iceland to win straight up, and the line movement's
Did Peru
actually
win?
going.
You got Peru.
We
right?
had Peru to win.
Everything
straight up.
we
had Paulo Guerrero to score in that game. We won that. We had the under in France, Denmark that went 0-0. We had Denmark not to lose in that one. I told you it went 0-0. It was a clean sweep of the morning games.
Entertainment purposes only. So Messi right now is on the cusp of historic collapse.
This is so great because Argentinians got really excited when Nigeria did them a big favor and kept them alive in the tournament by keeping themselves alive in this tournament. And now everyone in the universe says Argentina's going to somehow find their way into this next round. I've got a little bit of feeling in this tummy.
What kind of? Wait a minute. How much of a feeling, Mike? You're on a heater. Mike. It can't be a little bit of feeling in the tummy. I need more information.
That I told you I took Nigeria not to lose, and they're playing Argentina.
Whoa!
What happens with a tie here now?
Argentina gets lost.
Well, that means.
All right.
Not understand.
No. What happens to Argentina with a tie? What happens to their actual team with a tie? Are they out of the World Cup?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't have any idea what he's doing, and he's betting.
I'm just following Mike, man.
Huge amounts of entertainment purposes.
Following Mike to the bank.
But this Nigeria-Argentina game, this one's a put your kids to bed game.
Oh,
that's right. It's only the second put your kids to bed game of the World Cup tournament. France, Peru.
I remember that one.
Was a put the kids to bed. Call your kids. Tell them go to bed. Really? Make sure that they don't go anywhere near Argentina and Nigeria because this one,
it's huge.
It's massive.
It is massive. Is there anything better? I mean, laughing at laughing at Messi. Like, what's going to feel better than that in terms of rooting against Belichick, against Saban, rooting against?
I think people laughed at LeBron when he couldn't post up J.J. Barea that first year with the Heat. Yeah.
I love laughing at Argentinian misery when it comes to world football. That is my favorite vice.
I mean, everyone likes it. What's even close? What's the second addiction? What is it? I mean, laughing at the English.
Knicks fans.
Knicks fans. Good. At Le Batard Show. Excellent, Chris. At Le Batard Show on the poll. Go ahead and put that on the poll, by the way. What's more fun to do, laughing at the Argentinian soccer team or laughing at the Knicks? Put that on the poll. At Le Batard Show. Go ahead, Stugotz.
Is Miami's best chance at getting LeBron a whispering Dwayne Wade and Udonis Haslem? That's all we've got.
No cap space. That's all Miami's got.
Just two guys that have his
ear.
Two
whispers. That's right.
83% of the audience said yes. Is he or is he? 63% of the audience said is he. Was even more bloated Phil Collins over the line? 64% of the audience said yes.
Who does the even more bloated Phil Collins coach?
He's actually not really managing right now because if you believe reports, the Argentinian players are managing themselves. He just gets to sit on the sideline and watch.
Do you know what flan is?
This is an important one.
Well, you guys think it's some sort of hidden secret down here. It's weird, man. 70% of the audience said yes.
I think that's mostly Miamians voting on that poll.
Okay. Do you love a good snow globe? 57% of the audience said yes. Is Showalter too old for this bleep? They had Snowalter. 90% of the audience said yes.
Fine.
Did you know that in Florida you could legally break a car window to save a pet?
That's crazy to me.
56% of the audience said yes.
What if the window's cracked, though?
Those are the polls.
No, I think the animal has to be in peril.
There's two more.
Two more polls at Le Batard Show. Guillermo, I first of all, I apologize to Marco Rubio for calling him a congressman. He's a senator. Have we gotten Senator Rubio on the phone, or should we be calling a congressman instead?
We're making efforts to get in contact with him.
At Le Batard Show, what are the last two?
Is Bruce Bowen both a pillar of integrity and a dirty player? 82% of the audience said yes.
Senators are congressmen, though. They're in Congress, are they not?
Everybody's yelling at me.
They're senators.
Have you ever heard Kawhi Leonard utter a word? 89% of the audience said no. Those are the polls.
What?
You.
Why should he stop? That's how the audience is experiencing you every week for 6 weeks. Are you going to get it checked? Are you going to get a full body cast?
Yeah,
We're concerned
I'm going to get a full
you.
body cast.
A full body scan?
Yes. I'll be in a full body cast next week.
A full body cast or a full body scan?
I'm going to show up naked like Greg Norman.
Doesn't he need to get this looked at immediately? Like, seriously.
Yeah, no, it's looking at it.
This was the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
We live in a racist